Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Get Ready. Really excited about this one. So, this gentleman I have known about for a very long time. Back years ago, a friend of mine was saying, hey, there's this guy on YouTube who's doing these great compilation videos, the top 10 messages from thought leaders. And you ought to check this out. And I did. And over time, he has been very successful with this and built up a lot of success on YouTube and is now sharing his insights about that and helping other people get out there and share their message. And welcome to the show, Evan Carmichael.
Thanks for having me, Brad. I love the setup. The picture of the from the Sistine Chapel there of touching the hand of God. I remember going to the Sistine Chapel and sneaking behind my mom when I was a kid to like try to take a picture of that. And I got yelled at by the security because at the time, at least, you weren't allowed to take pictures of it, and I almost got kicked out of the Sistine Chapel. So I hope we don't get into too much trouble here on your show.
It's not a picture I took myself, so we're all good. No, I've always loved that because it's you're so close. If Adam's finger extended a little bit more, the connection is there.
Yeah.
So you you talk all the time about hashtag believe and often end your videos saying believe and talking about how the one of, if not the biggest problem that people face is the idea that they don't believe in themselves. And tell me about where that came from and what inspires you about that.
I think it's because it's my own biggest problem and my own biggest fears. I don't believe in myself enough to do the next thing. And when people ask me, what advice, would you give yourself to your younger self? It's, well, believe in yourself. And I think, 84-year-old Evan would come back and talk to current day Evan and just say the same thing. Like, dude, why didn't you just believe in yourself more now? And it's just the belief to do the next thing. And people are sometimes surprised when I say that. It's like, but you're Mr. Believe and you have all this content and yeah, but I'm confident in doing what I've already done. I'm not confident in doing the next thing. So you mentioned the videos and the compilations. I make those for me because I want a little bit of Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett and whoever in my ear every day because it makes me push a little bit more and believe in myself. So whether I call it the world's number one problem, whether it actually is or not, it's kind of hard to tell. But if you think about something like cancer, I think cancer could have been solved by now. But the woman who solves cancer is a manager at an accounting firm because she never believed in herself enough to go to get a medical degree and chase that career down. So whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I like to believe it is, and so that pushes me forward on my journey every day.
Yeah. Well, and I see it all the time in my work with folks that yeah, the biggest thing that blocks is that sense of worthiness, that feeling that we're not good enough. So it really is. So yeah, with obviously there are all kinds of issues the world is dealing with. We are more and more aware of that all the time. But as you said, the person who can do something about that is out there. And if only they would get over their feelings of unworthiness, not being good enough, and believe in themselves, wow, the miracles that happen.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's what I try to wake up every day and do. And what I find is no matter how good a day I have, like today's awesome. It's been a fun day doing interviews. Good to be here with you on your show, which is amazing. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and like that energy high is gone. I got to start all over again. And I think this is what one of the misconceptions people have is you look at somebody who's had a lot of success and just think, wow, they must be always motivated and always positive and always full of self-belief and always know what they're doing. And like Brad has it all figured out and I suck, right? And this is what we tend to think about, where it's like, that's not it at all.
Right.
Successful people have, and having studied more successful people than most people in the work that I do, they all have insecurities and fears and doubts and lack of self-belief, but they just don't let that stop them. They do something every day to get them going. And so for me, it's going for a walk, wake up, get outside, get some vitamin D and some sun in my eyes, and get a video going of some entrepreneur who's doing big things that inspires me to go on and have a great day today.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not, I believe that everything's perfect right now. So I believe that within me is the capacity to make things better. And yeah, we're all human. We're all works in progress. And Yeah, so often we can look at thought leaders and other people and go, "Oh, they have it all figured out every day." It's like, no, we're all working, and there's nothing so good that it can't get better. So it's always, okay, what else? What's next?
I mean, I'm looking at the statue of David behind you, and I forget what the exact Michelangelo quote is about the statue of David. You probably have it memorized, but he was always in the block of marble. What is it?
So yeah, I mean, there's different ways it's been translated, but the basic idea is that the statue is already there, perfect inside the marble. I just have to chip away what doesn't belong to reveal the masterpiece that's inside.
Yeah,
And
and I,
that's I use that as my logo because it's the perfect metaphor for what I do in my work is tapping away the feelings of insecurity, the doubt, the unworthiness, all of that stuff that stops us from sharing the gifts that we have, from sharing the masterpiece that's in there.
yeah, I think that's what we're all trying to do on an everyday basis. And so you do it with tapping, I do it with my videos. Like we're all attacking from different modalities. Um, and it's figuring out the thing that works for you
Yeah.
and going in all in on it. Um, I did a tapping video, when I did a tapping video a couple years ago where a practitioner came on and kind of tapped me through some exercises. And she's like, "Are you sure you want to do this as a YouTube video publicly?" It's like, well, like there's a stigma around it, right? And so people would think, well, what's the stigma that you get? It's like, well, people think it's stupid, it doesn't work, it's hocus pocus, it's whatever. It's like, okay, well, even if I don't get a massive result, just the willingness to try might inspire somebody to go and try it themselves, right? Um, and so I think I went from like a 7 anxiety to a 4. I'm dating myself now. It's a couple years back, but from like a 7 anxiety to a 4 about whatever was on my mind at that
Yeah.
time. Um, and just the willingness to show, hey, like, why do we judge something before even giving it a shot? You know, like how long does it take to watch a video and see if it might serve you? How long does it take to do a tapping exercise and see if it serves you? Like 60 seconds? I mean, you can do longer sessions, I'm sure, but um, how long does it take? And so we often have these judgments before even giving it a shot. And so I think it's great to have that's why I love YouTube. It's like you can look up any of this stuff, and then there's experts that you can go and hire and go deeper with if you want. But you don't just have to go to the library anymore. You don't just have to ask your mom and whatever knowledge she's kind of limited to. You got the whole world open to you. And there's other people who've struggled with the same thing that you are struggling with right now, and they've solved it. And so you don't have to keep struggling. Just go find the people who've solved it and what they did, and maybe it works for you too.
And that's one of those things to, again, believe in is the solution is there. There's something out there that's going to get me to that place. I find that with a lot of the resistance that comes up about a lot of things is people are afraid to believe in themselves. Because if I believe that I'm awesome, there's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of expectations then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you had a great line. So before we started recording, you asked me how I was, and I said, "Oh, I'm awesome," or something like that. And you said, "Yes, you are." And I was talking more about just how my day is going, and you turned it into like as a human, because what we say I am to, really, really matters.
Yes.
That was a great little distinction that I enjoyed from the first start of the session. But yeah, the belief that you could be David is for most people ridiculous. And so if you don't believe it, then how you don't even have the courage, the willingness to go and try anything because you don't believe there's any hope in becoming something better than where you are. Which is why I love the stories, like if you look at people who've had a lot of success, they didn't start with something so much better than you. You're probably in a better place than they are because you have YouTube, you have the internet, you have resources. Like it's a lot easier for you to win than it was for them when they got started. And so if somebody could go from where they started to where they are now, I look at that as like, okay, what's my excuse? Like, why can't I do that? And there's no real good reason why I can't. It's still just a story. And so whatever tools people need to figure out that, hey, there is a David inside of you and it just needs to be chiseled away at and honed. And no one person is going to solve that thing for you. It's your own project that you need to bring in different tools and resources and modalities to figure out, but that you could be perfect. You could be David, and it's in there. You just have to chisel away at it.
Yeah. And then figure out how to deal with those expectations and all the great things that come from having believed in yourself and set yourself free. And yeah, as you said about the stories, that it makes it easier for us to believe when we hear, oh, someone else has done it. It's not a leap of faith. Okay, nobody has ever been able to do what I'm trying to do before, and no one's ever come from where I came from. No one has what I'm experiencing, and that's one of the greatest things is when people find when they hear a story and say, I thought it was just me.
Yeah. And so that's where a lot of the work that I do is with thought leaders, helping them get their message out to the world. And that's one of the key things that always has to be introduced is people like to share their techniques and their strategies, but not their story. And so you could say, hey, here are the three things you need to do, or here's how tapping can help you, or, tap these points, whatever, which is great. But most people won't do it because they don't connect to you. It's like, yeah, but, they don't understand me. But if you say, here's what I struggled with whatever, crippling anxiety. I was 200 pounds overweight, or whatever the thing is that you were struggling with, to then share the story, that makes people feel like, oh, maybe I can do it too. So on my website, I'll show my year over year YouTube growth, right? And like year one, I had 25 subscribers. Year two, I had like 100 subscribers. Year five, I still had 2,000 subscribers, something like that. It's on there.
Yeah.
Um, People use that as motivation to say, oh, like if he can do it, if he was that slow, I'm already ahead of him. 25 subscribers in his first year. I'm already at 200. I'm ahead of him by tenfold. Like, great. They'll DM me on Instagram or take pictures that they're beating me. It's like, I love it. Use it. It's great. People don't believe I'm an introvert. It's like some of these stories and getting on shows like yours to be able to talk about some of these things is great because they only see the perfect version. And so I think if you want to get your message out to the world, you need to do a better job of sharing. And I'm speaking to myself too in this, sharing the story, sharing what you struggle with, sharing what you still are trying to become. I still don't believe myself to do the next thing. You know, we just did a head count at the company, and there's 62 people who work with us in this business. Which my first reaction is that's crazy. 62 people. If you asked me, I would have said like 20 because I'm not managing everybody.
Right.
But also the fact that I think it's crazy, that's not even that big a company. Like 62 people is not, that's a tiny company, right? So if I think that that's crazy, and if I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem, I'm still thinking just way too small, right? It's like, that's nothing. That's a good start, right? How do I get 6,200 people working at my business? I can't even imagine what that business looks like. But if I want to have a bigger impact, then I need more people, right? And so even catching our own language patterns. So when I saw 62, I said that's crazy. Like, no, 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 that's not crazy. That's a good start.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's even for yourself, being able to look at your story of there was a time when I would have thought that was crazy. And now here it is. So that can give you that inspiration to believe that 6,200, oh yeah, that's doable. I can't see it now, but I believe that I can get there.
Yeah. Even the fact that we just both put 6,200 out into the world like that makes me very uncomfortable.
Okay, there's something you can do about that.
Okay, there we go. Where are we tapping? Where are we tapping, Brad? Where are we tapping? Where is my anxiety hitting me? Is it here? Is it?
Even though I'm afraid of having a company that big.
Yeah. I'm gonna trust in my ability to do it. You know.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's interesting to see how the how it's shifted for you in terms of the videos that you were making for yourself, but also for sharing with others people. Hey, here's great inspirational material. Here's stuff that can help you believe in yourself.
Mhm.
And then finding, oh, hey, I'm really good at getting this out there. Who else is having trouble getting their message out there? And then having that be such a big focus for you, sharing
Yeah.
that.
So, I mean, at the beginning, I was just answering some questions. I mean, a lot of my content was just me answering some basic questions for people. As I started profiling successful entrepreneurs, I thought, hey, you could learn a lot from Steve Jobs and whoever, and their foundation story and their lessons for success, and maybe it'll inspire you like it inspires me, and that helped. The number one request for the top 10 rules video series was always me. And we didn't do it. Like we never did it. Now we've done a whole bunch. We've
Yeah.
done 100 or so. But at the beginning, we never did. It's like, why do you want to learn from me? I mean, I'm sure I've done some things, but I'm profiling Elon Musk and I've done nothing compared to him. And then one year on my birthday, my team surprised me and put up me without me knowing, did the whole video, posted it live on YouTube. Uh and my wife kind of gave them cover for it.
Yeah.
Because like I was very adamant that we're not doing me, and then here it was on my birthday, which feels like the most egotistical thing to do on your birthday. But they did it, and just it was the comments that came back that people loved it and how much it meant to them. So like, okay, we'll keep doing it. And then over the years, I've also included more up and coming thought leaders because as I met more people, people like yourself and other experts who are great at something, like, man, the world needs to know you exist. Like, there's so much negativity in the media and so much content that just doesn't serve people. Meanwhile, there's someone like you who's got this incredible talent, a great heart, a desire to serve, and like nobody knows who you are. And that's what I was pushing against for years on YouTube, trying to convince someone like you should start a show. You
Yeah.
should create a podcast. You should make videos. And they would tell me like, what are you talking about? I teach tapping. Like nobody's gonna want to watch a video on that. Um, Now it's kind of come full circle. So the past 3, 4 years has been more people coming to me now. They say, hey, can you help me grow this? Or I've got a friend. Can you help him get? And yeah, I recognize that most people won't learn through my story. Some people will, but if I can help, 1,000, 10,000 people tell their own story and get their message out, what's the ripple effect of that out to the world? And so, yeah, I've spent a good chunk of time of the past 5 years, coaching, consulting, mentoring, training, launching programs to help people get their message out to the world.
Yeah. And people who are just starting out on YouTube and people with huge followings already that are like, you know what, I think I want to tweak I want to reach more people, and you seem to be good about that. So
Yeah, it started with like people that we profiled would then
mhm.
say, thank you. Can you help us with our channel? We're trying to grow it. And these are people that I looked up to and respected and learned from. And like, well, you want to talk to me about your channel? Okay, cool. And then that spawned a bunch of different businesses and agencies helping big channels grow. And then it went down to, okay, but what about all the other entrepreneurs who are also have like any entrepreneur has a reason for starting their business.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not just about money. Obviously we need to make money, but there's a passion, there's a purpose, there's something driving this person because entrepreneurship is just, it's so hard that it doesn't make sense if you're logical to do it. So there's something driving you forward. And I think that just needs to get out into the world more. Um, and I didn't have a program at the time for it, but since then we've launched it, and especially people who already have a business and they know how to help people, just being able to get that message out to a broader audience to then grow their business, so then they can hire more team to then build their brand and change the world. It's all in service of trying to spread more belief, but I can only do so much with my message and with famous entrepreneurs. And that like there's thousands and thousands of people who have a great story that nobody heard of that they'll listen to you, but they won't listen to the way that I deliver it. And so I want to help get that out.
Well, and exactly, and to what you were saying earlier about not wanting to have a top 10 Evans bits of wisdom, because that, well, no, I'm profiling these great thinkers and not me. And but recognizing that there is a way, even if you've gotten the idea from someone else, there's something in the way that you're going to translate it that someone's going to hear, and they might have heard Jim Rohn or Earl Nightingale or whoever it is that you might have been sampling, and but in your voice, from your experience, like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm still, so, even though others have said it before, the way I say it brings value, right?
Yeah.
That took a lot of convincing and my agent yelling at me to kind of get over and get used to. And I'm still not fully there, but definitely way better than I used to be. Um, what always helps me is just go back to service. Like you're trying to help.
Yes.
Anytime I'm stuck, it's usually of something that is in the bigger picture really stupid. Like, what microphone are we going to use? And do I have a pimple on my nose or whatever, right? And if I can go to service, it's like, hey, this message is going to help somebody. And I'm sitting here worried about what microphone I'm going to use. Like, I need to get this out to the world. And so if I can default to service, it's sometimes, it was usually a conscious effort. The overthinking is not from a place of service. And so I need to consciously catch it and then turn it to, okay, I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. Maybe it fails. Maybe it doesn't do well. I don't know. But at least I'm going to put it out there and try. Because me just sitting here overthinking isn't going to help anybody with anything.
Right, right. There's an audience out there waiting for you, and that thought of, I can't put it out there. I can't share this gift until it's perfect.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people are waiting. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, you
don't
look
do
at,
it.
or if you have something weird, right? Like tapping, a lot of people who have modalities that have healed them. I'm sure you went through something and you tried a whole bunch of different things and then you found tapping and then tapping saved the day. And I was like, you just want to share this gift with so many other people. A lot of people who've made a discovery like that then become afraid to put themselves out there to make content to share anything because I'm gonna be judged. What's my wife gonna say? What's my mom gonna say? What are my high school friends gonna say that I'm cuckoo? I went up the deep end. What are some hater comments gonna say? Right? Like this is where that's a place of fear and insecurity as opposed to thinking, man, you know how many millions of people right now are struggling with the same thing that I just suffered through for the past decade?
Yeah,
And I actually have a solution that I'm just sitting on. I need to get it out. And if people don't like it, as long as the intention is good, your intention is not to roast somebody or to throw them under the bus, or
right.
the
Take
intention is to
advantage of
serve and
them.
to
Yeah,
help, right?
yeah.
We're here to serve and help. As long as that's your intention, then I can't think of a good enough reason, you know?
And it makes it easier to get through the slings and arrows of criticism, and just knowing, okay, I I can't withhold the gifts and talents that I have that can be of service to somebody because somebody doesn't like it. I'll often say, think of your favorite musician, think of your favorite song, and how grateful you are that that song is out there. I can promise you that out of the 8 billion people on this planet, somebody hates that song.
Mhm.
Somebody doesn't like that singer. And what if that person had said, until I know that all 8 billion people are going to approve of this, I can't put it out there?
Yeah. I mean, when you logically break it down, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just we're not logical beings, you know. It's just
Well,
it's catch it. It's trying to catch it.
yeah. And we
It's
have so
catching our
much
thought
program.
patterns.
We have so much programming about don't look stupid, don't make a fool of yourself, don't upset anybody. And maybe for a lot of people have a lot of programming about you're not good enough, you don't have what it takes, and that stuff sinks in, and it's all that marble that covers up the masterpiece and makes it hard to believe. And it's finding that thing of, okay, I believe that there might be something under there. And I often say, like in an interview like this, for anyone watching this, you do believe in yourself, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be listening to us right now. You could have ignored this video. You could ignore all of Evan's videos about success and all the different things, and or any of my tapping videos, or anything that could be a lifeline to pull you out of that marble and into where you're being of service to the world.
Yeah. Anybody watching this, there's a piece inside you that knows that you're capable of more
Yeah.
and that you want to serve more and that you're able to serve more and you're just afraid. And that's fine. Fear is normal. But use fear as a sign to go as opposed to stopping. You're not going to die doing this, but you will end up serving a lot of people.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And if we can enjoy it along the way, that's awesome too. Awesome. Thanks so much, Evan. I greatly appreciate what you're up to and what you do. And thank you for helping folks believe.
Cool. Thanks for the love, Brad. And I've never made so many connections between David and Believe before. So that's a fun new circuitry in my brain that I'm probably going to bring back at some point.
Awesome.